Sony just announced a major discount on all PSVR2 headsets and headset bundles. Is this a desperate attempt at moving stock that is all in the warehouses? Am I burned as a VR enthusiast that has had the headset for the last year? All this and more after this intro. Hello everyone, my name is Jeff, and welcome back to my channel, John Doe Juggalo. If this is your first time here, please consider hitting that subscribe button. Like my daughter says, it's free, and you can always change your mind later. If this is not your first time here, welcome back. This is where you're going to find me discussing my favorite things about movies and music, video games, and the physical medias that surround all of those types of mediums. So please sit back and relax and check out this next video. Hey everyone, so if this is your first time here, welcome. I usually like to talk video games, movies, music, physical medias that surround all of those types of entertainments. And today I want to talk about the PlayStation VR2 headset. We have it for the PlayStation 5 here. This headset, at the moment, is exclusive to the PlayStation 5 console. We are roughly, at the time of this recording, about 2 weeks out from them releasing a PC adapter for this wonderful headset. If you can't tell by what I'm saying already, yes, I'm a fan of this headset. I did not buy this headset on day one. I do like Sony. I do like their products. I am a big PlayStation fan. But I was a little skeptical about how Sony would support the VR2. Not because they didn't support the VR1, because they did. They supported the PlayStation VR1 for the PS4 a lot. Like, quite a bit. But I haven't really seen a lot of games being announced. And that was like that for a while. After it first came out, there were a few games we had announced for it that we were looking forward to. So a little bit of a back history on how I obtained my headset. I did not pay $500 for it. I actually paid $350, which is what the current price is for it right now. So I feel like my opinion on the price of it is pretty valid and pretty reasonable. I have a lot to talk about that in terms of, if I think it's a good deal. Now, $500, well, it was $550, I'm sorry, $550, because it's on sale $200 off for $350. Now, that's what I paid for mine, and I got the headset here. And I got the controller dock as well. I bought it from my local retro store, and they did not actually know that the charge dock was separate from the headset, so they took it all in as one trade. So yes, I did not help towards the numbers of sold units for the headset. But there's always a small percent of people that buy the VR headset that may get sickness from it, or it just may not be their bag. They just may not like it. So there's always going to be some returned. I ended up finding a good deal on mine about 6 months into it. 6 months in, there was already a decent library of games to choose from. And there were already games that I had in my collection that were already VR2 compatible that I didn't have to buy already. I just already had them. One of those being, probably still to this day, the best application game for this headset. And that's going to be Gran Turismo 7. I had that the day it came out, and I actually have that game digital. You can probably see back here, I have a lot of my games out right here that I have on disc. So for anyone that would say there aren't any games for the VR, I have, 10 games sitting right here on disc that say otherwise. And I have another dozen digital games on my PlayStation. There is a library of games for this headset that are very worth having the headset for. The headset adds some new capabilities to it. There's vibration in the headset. The controllers for this version of the VR are so much better than the PlayStation 4 VR's headset. If you have Beat Saber, it upgrades. I think everyone should just get Beat Saber with a VR headset. If you're buying a VR headset, you should get Beat Saber. Now, before I start getting into too much of an opinion on where I think this sale is and why I think you should buy one, I just want to tell you some of the games that I actually have for the VR. Obviously, you can see the ones back here on disc behind me here. We got No Man's Sky, which was a PS4 game that upgraded for free to the VR2. It also has a VR1 version. Townsman VR, Madison VR, Songs in the Smoke, The Light Brigade, The Walking Dead, Retribution, Saints and Sinners Part 2. Whoa, such a good game. Tennis on the Court, a nice cool tennis game for the VR. We got a skating game called VR Skater back there. And Vertigo 2, which is a sequel to a very popular game, Vertigo. All of those I have on a physical disc. I live in a small town, and I was able to find all of those. I also have another small stack here that I want to show off as well. But I want to keep those separate because I want to talk about those a little bit more in depth. And we will once we get a little bit further into the video. Some of my digital games are the digital games that I have. A Fisherman's Tale, After the Fall, that's a good one. Beat Saber, Among Us has VR on the PS5 as well. Cave Digger, Crossfire Sierra Squad, very good. That's a very fun game. It's got these little mini missions you can go and do so you can be in and out. You can have a nice little 15-20 minute VR session and be done for the day, or just doing a couple more of them. It's got co-op missions that you can play with friends. I have Gran Turismo 7, obviously I just mentioned that one. Digital. Kayak VR, Mirage. Now, this is a great application to show the VR headset off to anyone that would come over, because you don't have to get up and move around and do a bunch of stuff. You're literally sitting in a kayak and you're just sitting still and kayaking. Something for that could be a lot easier for you to show the VR headset off to someone that's never done VR before and wouldn't know if it would make them sick or not. Very good, very good to check that one out. I had a lot of fun with that. The graphics were very good. Of course, they have upgraded and moved up Moss 1 and Moss Book 2. And I haven't played Moss Book 2. I need to beat Moss 1. And I didn't beat it on the PSVR 1, so I'm finishing it on VR 2 right now. Very fun game. Very fun puzzles. Looks beautiful on the VR 2 OLED screens. Just great. And I believe those might have physicals. I'm not entirely sure about that. Like I said, I live in a small town, and I've only been able to acquire about 15 disc-based games. Only 15 disc-based games. So there are a good few handfuls of good VR games on disc. I also got Unplugged Air Guitar. I did get that on a sale for about $10, and it's a very neat experience for about that $10 price. I would say grab that on a sale, but it's very fun and very neat, and there's not much out there quite like it. And then I also have The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners Part 1 digital that I had gotten on the VR 1, and it just upgraded to VR 2 free of charge. There are a handful of games that were free upgrades. A Fisherman's Tale was a free upgrade, and Beat Saber. Everything else I think I kind of bought new for this headset, because when the VR1, I mainly just bought games on disc. I have some digital ones that were given away on PlayStation Plus and things like that, but I have like a nice stack of PS4 VR games for the PSVR1. Now, I think that this is, like I said, these are 5 of my favorite games. Any of those digital games, anybody can get access to those. Anybody can get access to these as well. All disc games are digital as well. We're just gonna, in not any particular order, except for maybe just what my favorite one was, I'm gonna save it for last. But we have Synth Riders Remastered, a very good rhythm music game. You'll find that there's quite a bit of those on VR just in general, because they're easy to set up and sell to just common VR users, because they can be used for like music exercise. The next one, now this one I did have to search for a little bit, because I kept having a hard time finding the disc, and as far as I could tell, the easiest place to get it was Best Buy, and I don't have a Best Buy, and they wanted to charge me shipping on top of the $50 price tag of the disc, and I was just a little skeptical about that. I did find this one on GameFly, and that is Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition. I think that anybody that has a PlayStation VR2 should totally have this. You get to do, you're living in the Star Trek world, and it looks beautiful. Now, this is available on the Quest and other headsets. We're talking about VR2. This is a good get. A very good get. And you cannot play this on the PSVR1. So this would be a very good get for any newcomers, anyone upgrading, anyone looking for a fresh new experience. And if you're a fan of Star Wars, it's a no-brainer. Now, the next one, and I think I'm going to say these 3 might be in the right order. And the only reason I'm going to put this one like 3 is because there is no new trophy list, and there's no active trophy list for when playing it in VR. You just play it without trophies, and that might hinder some people back. But it looked so good, and it was so good in VR that I just still have to suggest it. And that is Resident Evil 8 Village. This, my goodness, it looked amazing. There were scary parts in it. It was very atmospheric. You really felt like you were in the mansion and that you were with the creatures. Definitely check this one out. You can find this game for $20 all day long on disc. It goes on sale for, I think, $20 to $30 on digital, and I think it's 20 to 30 because like this will be 20, but the gold edition might be 30. The gold edition may have even came down in price, which gives you even more content for this game. But you can find this game for right around $20, and this is going to be a great experience front to back on VR, guaranteed. Now I'm going to leave, you're probably like, wait, you got Resident Evil 8 on there, but you don't have Resident Evil 4? Yes, I do. We totally have Resident Evil 4 on here. This was a VR2 system seller for a lot of people. A lot of people bought a PlayStation VR2 with the anticipation of playing this game in VR. They made a version of the original Resident Evil 4 on the Quest VR, and I got to check that out, and it was cool. It was fun. There was nothing wrong with it, nothing at all. I think it's $20 or $30. It's worth it. If you have a Quest, buy that version. It's worth it. This may be on the Quest as well, but I highly doubt it. I think it's exclusive to the PS5 and this headset. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I think it is at the moment, just like Resident Evil 7 is exclusive to the PS4 VR. And I believe Resident Evil 8 is exclusive to this headset as well for VR. But it's this entire game, just in VR. You lose nothing. One of the best games ever made. Reimagine looking better than it's ever looked, and now you can be inside. It's a no-brainer. Grab this one up. Okay, and I'm going to go with one of my favorite VR games of all time. Of course, Beat Saber is way up there. Beat Saber and this one go neck and neck for number 1 and number 2. They're always changing between like my favorite ones. Depending on if I want to be active or if I want to sit down, that might be what I choose to play for the day. But my favorite one is Tetris Effect. And yes, this is the PS4 version. I paid $10 to upgrade this disc to VR because I had such a hard time finding the PS5 disc. I just couldn't find it. So I upgraded this version for the $10. Well worth it. It goes on sale all the time. Digital for $20. You can get a disc through limited run, which I think is still pretty readily available on Amazon. I could be wrong. I'll leave a screenshot right here as to what the price is at the time of this recording. But you should totally buy this game. This is one that every VR owner should play. Whether you're playing it on the PS4 VR, you're playing it on the PS5 VR, or if you're playing it on the Quest, you should be playing Tetris Effect. Okay, so those are what I would suggest you get. Now, you know, with all of this going on, Sony has has made some big waves with this sale. I think $350 is the sweet spot. I mean, that's what I paid for mine about a year ago. I got it August of 2023. And this is the time of recording, the last day of July 2024. And I'm very happy with it. And I'm not upset that anybody can get a brand new one for $350. I have thought about buying a second one for that price, but I don't even have a second PlayStation 5. But I could take it to my dad's house and we could have 2 VR headsets go at the same time. I have thought about that because this is a really good deal. And I'm not the only one that thinks this. I mean, the sales for the headset has increased in a 24-hour span. It increased 2,350%. It's over 2,000% of sales increased. Now, that's not saying much because I don't think it sold very much in general, because it has sold more in one day than it has the entire rest of the calendar year put together. And that's even after tax return time and the works and people saving up through the year and everything. Maybe people were saving up waiting for a deal like this. Maybe the $350 is a little more affordable to do through something like a pay in 4. Maybe $350 is the price that it should be. What do you think? I mean, $350, Sony could be losing a lot of money on the $350. I understand that. But now they have a headset adapter for the PC that's going to be $60. So yeah, you bundle that with $350, you're at about $400. Let's be more correct. After taxes, you're close to about $435, $440 for the headset and the adapter. But with the technology that's in it is better than what you're getting on any other PC headset for that price. And if you have a PlayStation 5, I believe this price is a no-brainer. You probably have games already that have a VR mode. And every single sale they have on the PlayStation Store has VR games on it. Every single one. Every single one. And they always have good games on sale. There's always something good to pick from and something good to choose. Every time. So do I suggest it? I sure do. And if you don't have a PlayStation 5, this might be the time to get a PlayStation 5 as well. I'm a high believer in physical media. Obviously. I love my physical discs. You can get a digital PlayStation 5 for only $399.99, $400 right now. If you bundle that in with this headset alone, after taxes, you're right at about $800. And you have a very powerful console with a very powerful headset together. You're not getting a PC rig with a headset that good for $800, any which way you slice it. So yes, I definitely do believe you should definitely get down on this deal. It's so good. I mean, and anyone that says that there's not games for this headset, they're lying to you. I've literally showed you stacks. There's a stack here. There's Stacks here. I just showed you like 15 games on disc. There's many that I don't have. There's a Five Nights at Freddy's game at my GameStop right now. If you have kids, they're going to love you for getting that game with it. When you go to the PlayStation Store, you go to the PSVR2 section. It does have games that aren't quite out yet, but there are 242 games for the headset, according to the PlayStation Store. Let's window that down to things that aren't quite out yet. I would still say that that's over 200. There's over 200 games that you can buy and download and play for this headset on your PlayStation 5 right now. And if you're a PC player, this headset with a $60 adapter works great on PC, and you can play anything through the Steam store, or so they're saying. We'll see how that is when we get to that. But I would jump all over this $350 VR headset. And the PS5 disc drive is only $50 more. So you can get a PlayStation 5 with a disc drive for $450. You know, there's your $800. That's not so bad. Well, anyways, let's sound off in the comments down below. Let me know if you ended up deciding to get one of these. If you did, what game are you trying to get with it? What game are you wanting to play with this headset the first time? What games coming out are you looking forward to? Do you think this is an attempt at Sony to just purge the existing stock? Or do you think that Sony sees the sales of this and sees how fast it flies off at $350 and they figure out a way to get that price there? And, I don't know, sign some exclusive deals, get some exclusive content that would sell the headset, make your money on the content. If you can bring out good games, maybe then the games won't be discounted. That's not so good for someone like me who is frugal and loves buying games on a discount. But the software always speaks for itself, and if you have good software, you can make that money back in software. Well, if you stuck around to the end of this video, I do appreciate you. Please do me a favor and thumbs up the video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. I like to talk about all kinds of things here, video games and movies and music and the works. And hit that bell notification so that way you see the next time my video goes up and you don't miss the next one. And until next time, later.